Consider the following formula. Which of the following statements is true for this formula? To solve this question, we're going to need to graph our function, and the easiest way to do that is to find our intercepts. Our y-intercept is where x is equal to 0, and our x-intercept is where y is equal to 0. So let's start with our y-intercept. If we rewrite our function but plug in 0 for x, we would have 1/4 times 0 just gives us 0. Then we'd have 1/3 y equals 1. And in this case, we would need to divide both sides by 1/3. It can be helpful to go ahead and multiply 1/3 to y so you can better see what actually needs to be done here. If we multiplied 1/3 to y, we would get 1 times y, which is y, over 3 equals 1. And now it's a bit easier to see that we need to multiply both sides by 3. 3 is the reciprocal of 1/3. So when we divide by fractions, we have to multiply by the reciprocal. It's just a bit easier to see that if we go ahead and multiply this through. So these 3's will cancel, leaving us with y is equal to 3 times 1, which is 3. Then for our x-intercept, we have 1/3 times y, which is equal to 0 this time, equals 1 minus 1/4 x. And again, I'm going to go ahead and multiply this 1/4 through to the x so that it's easier to do our final step. So we'll have 1/3 times 0 equals 1 minus x over 4. Now we can start to simplify. 1/3 times 0 is just 0. That's equal to 1 minus x over 4. Let's add x over 4 to both sides so that we can make that a positive fraction. These x over 4's will cancel, leaving us with, and I'm going to make another line over here, x over 4 is equal to 1. And then we need to multiply. That's the opposite of dividing x by 4, multiplying by 4 to both sides. These 4's will cancel, leaving us with x is equal to 1 plus 4, which is 4. So our two coordinate points, we have our y-intercept at 0, 3, and our x-intercept at 4, 0. I'm going to plot those 2 points, and I will be right back. Now I have plotted our two intercepts, one at 0, 3, which was to the right 0 and up 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 0, which was to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 0. Let's take a look at answer choice A. A says when the value of y is less than 2, x is negative. So let me draw a line at y equals 2. And everything less than that would be below that line. All of these x values are positive, not negative, because they are all on the right-hand side of the y-axis, making answer choice A incorrect. Answer choice B says when the value of y is greater than 0, so here's y equals 0, and everything greater than would be above it, x is positive. This is partially true because some of these x values are positive, some of them are on the right-hand side of the y-axis. However, once we cross our y-intercept, all of these x values going into infinity are going to be negative. So that makes answer choice B incorrect. Answer choice C says when the value of x is greater than 6, so we're switching variables here, greater than 6. We have 4, 5, 6. Here's our line at x equals 6. Greater than would be everything to the right-hand side. Y is negative. This is a true statement because all of these values are starting below the x-axis. So that means all of the y values from there on into infinity are going to be negative, making C our correct answer. At that point, you can mark C and move on with the rest of the test, but for the sake of the video, I'll show you why D is incorrect. D says when the value of x is greater than 0, so here's a line at x equals 0, and greater than is everything to the right, y is positive. This is partially true because these values here all have positive y values. However, once we cross the x-axis here, then all of our y values will become negative into negative infinity, making D incorrect and making C our correct answer.